Okay, how to write it? A single horizontal stroke from top to bottom, and it rests on the line. Okay, before drawing it, I will explain the lines. Whenever we write Arabic letters, words, then it's actually written between two lines, but this one is an imaginary line. By that I mean, if you go to this one, so that imaginary line, if you see here, let's suppose, for example, we have one line here. So let's see, this whole text is written between two lines. Let's suppose this one and this one, and this imaginary line, if you notice that every letter, this is like, this is the imaginary line. That's why it says is rest on imaginary line. So if you see this alif, it rests on there, alif is rest on there, alif is rest on there. So you don't see this imaginary line in the real text, but it is there. So this is what I mean, this imaginary line. Okay, if I explain with another color, that would probably, so this is imaginary line, you can see here. Okay, so whenever we explain that a letter will be resting on the line, this imaginary line, this is what I mean. Okay, go to the next one. Okay, how to write it? It's single horizontal stroke from top to bottom. So you start like this, let's see, and it rests on the line. If you have the alif in the beginning, it's the same as if it is unconnected. Okay, alif. If it is in the middle, if you see here, there is a connecting point before here, so it's written like this. You basically you will be writing something, some other letters, and then you connect to that, so it's like this. Similarly at the end, like this, so you can connect something before it. Okay, and it rests on the line. How to write it? Let me read it out quickly, and then we do the practical bit. So it is written with a single stroke. Okay, and it begins from the right with a slight curve. It begins from the right with a slight curve, downward horizontal stroke, so like this. Okay, followed by a vertical, that's the vertical part, vertical extension, and ending in an upward slightly curved horizontal stroke, giving, okay, the slightly curved horizontal stroke giving canoe-like shape. It has one dot underneath, and it rests on the line. So let me do practically now. Okay, let me do practically. That's okay. If it's written like this, so you start from here, like this. That's it. That's if it's written on its own. If it's written in the beginning, it is written like this. Remember, it rests on the line. Okay, the imaginary line we explained in the previous session. So if it's in the beginning, we write it like this. Okay, this means that we can connect other letters with it. If you connect it, if you write it in the middle, it looks like this. Okay, by here. And if it is at the end, we write it like this. Okay, so if we see another one, we actually can connect these ones together. For example, if you connect these two and these two parts, so now you can see the back can be written in the beginning, can be written in the middle, and at the end. So you can see this example, and that's why it's called connecting letter, because it can be written from both sides with other letters. How it is written, so if you see, this is exactly the same way it's written as ba, but we still go just explain it briefly, and then we will do practical part. So it is written with a single stroke, single stroke, and it begins from the right with a slightly curved downwards. So it begins with the right, slightly curved downwards, horizontal stroke, and followed by a vertical extension. That's vertical extension, ending in upwardwards. Okay, vertical extension, ending upward, slightly curved. Okay, if you see that one, it's slightly curved, and it's horizontal. It's the horizontal stroke giving is a canoe-like shape as well. This is the canoe-like shape. It has two dots on top of it, two dots on top of it, and again this one rests on the line as well, the imaginary line. Sorry, we haven't written it down. Practical, how to write it. If it's in that state, you start like this, one line, two lines. One, two. It stays on the line. If it's in the beginning, sorry, yes, two dots, one, two. One, two. If it's written in the beginning, okay. If it's in the middle, okay, and if it is at the end, okay. Can we connect them? Yes. If you see here, you can connect this one here, this one there, okay. So if we just make one word from it, so that would be there. Yeah, now you can connect it like this, okay. How it is written, it's exactly same as we wrote ta and ba, except the dots are 3 in this case. We still go through and just read it out. So it is written with a single stroke, okay, written with a single stroke. It begins from the right with a slightly curved, okay, it begins with the right. So as we know, we have to write from right to left in Arabic. So it begins from right with slightly curved, okay, downward horizontal stroke followed by a vertical. So that's horizontal stroke, and then followed by a vertical curve, slightly curved, okay, ending with an upward slightly curved horizontal stroke. So this stroke gives it a shape like canoe-like shape, okay. It has 3 dots above it, okay, and it rests on the line, similar to ba and ta, okay. If it's written separate, unconnected with any other letter, so we write like, okay, sorry, red color, let's see. 1, 2, 3. If it's written in the beginning, okay, 1, 2, 3. If it's written in the middle, 1, 2, 3. If it's written at the end, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we can connect them from here. Connect this bit, okay. And if you write it like this, okay, because it is a connector, so you can see it can be connected from before or after. Okay, how it is written, so it has kind of 2 parts. It has the top part and the bottom one. So the top part rests on the line. Okay, this is the imaginary line. The top parts rest on the line, and the bottom parts under the line. Okay, and 1 dot inside it. So now we will draw it. So we will explain that. Okay. Okay. Say the top part rests on the line. So you start like this. Okay, let me change the color. Okay, right. That's the top part, and you just carry on the down part. Okay. And middle, and there's 1 dot in the middle. So the top part rests on the line and the bottom under the line, and there's 1 dot inside it. Let me write the different forms. Okay, if you're writing this form, the beginning form, it stays on the line because we have to just write the first part, the top part, not the lower one. So it looks like this. Okay, it's Jim. If it's in the beginning, if it is in the middle, it looks like this. Okay, so that's Jim. It's a middle, so you can connect before or after. If it is at the end, it looks like this. Okay, Jim. So can we connect them? Yes, we can. You see here we can connect this with this one, this with this one, because it's connecting letter. So let's suppose we write it as a one word. That would be like this. Okay, okay. So this is in all three forms, and this is the fourth one that's unconnected. How to write it? Similar to Jim, it has two parts. The top part rests on the line, imaginary line, and the bottom one under the line. It has no dots inside it. How do we write it? It's practical. Let's see. Practice it. If it's written on its own, it's like this. Okay, that's on its own. If it's written in the beginning of a word, then it's like this. If it is written in the middle, okay, and if it is at the end, okay. And can we connect them? Yes, we can. We can connect these parts. Sorry, this one. Let me write it down as a connector, connecting form. Okay, so that's, you can connect them before. You can connect it with other letters before or after it. How to write it? It's written similar to the way we explained in for Ha and Jim, but still we just go through it again. It is its top part remains on the line, and the bottom part under the line, and it has one dot above it. Let me explain it to you practically how to do it. Okay. So if it's written separately on its own, okay, and one dot on top, that's how if it's written on its own. If it is written in the beginning of a word, it's written like this. Okay. If it is written in the middle, okay. If it is written at the end, so can we connect them? Yes, because it is a connector. So you can connect this one, that one. Let me write it down again. Okay. So, okay. That's how it is written. So how to write it? It is written with a single curved stroke from the top to bottom. Rests on the line. So let me write it down, explain that one. Okay, it is written with a single curved line. So if it's written on its own, it's like this. Okay, and if it's written beginning, is similar to that one as well. Okay, and it's rests on the line. Okay, in the middle, it's like this. And in the end, it's like the same as this one. Okay, let's connect that one. Okay. Okay. So how it is written? It is written like dal, but with one dot. It is written with a single curved stroke from top to bottom. Single curved stroke from top to bottom. One dot above it, as one dot above it, and it rests on the line. Okay, that's the imaginary line. And let me do it practically. Okay, so that's the situation. If it's written on its own, then if it's in the beginning, it's same as if it's written on its own. Down again. Then okay. If it's written in the middle, okay. If it's written, okay, so this is extra bit, this should be there. Let me write it down again. And if it's written at the end, okay, okay. So how it is written as a continual stroke which begins above the line and extends below the line. So let me explain that to you practically. So if it's written like this, it starts from here, it comes here. So it starts from it's continuous stroke. It starts from the above the line and it finishes, extends below the line. And in all situations it's similar to that. Okay, so in the beginning it looks like this, and in the middle it looks like this. Okay, and at the end looks like this. Okay, so you can connect all the letters here with it and after it. Okay, so how it is written, it is written it's like a raw, so similar to that, but it has one dot on top of it, which is still we'll go through again. It is written as a continuous stroke which begins above the line and extends below it. So it has one dot above it. Let me write it down practically so we can see. Okay, so it is written as a continuous stroke, and it is written, it starts above the line and extends below the line. Okay, and one dot on top of it. If it is written in the beginning, it looks like as if it is written separately. Okay, there. If it is written in the middle, it looks like this, and similarly if it is written at the end, same as well. So we can connect letters here, but not with the other forms. Okay, how to write it? It is written like, let me read it out and then we'll explain it. It is written like a cursive W beginning from the right on the top line, followed by a large circle U written below it. Okay, let me explain that to you. Okay, so it is like this. Okay, beginning from the top, so we have to be above the line, start from the top, and from the right we have to start from the right. While writing W we start from left, but with Arabic we have to start from the right, and followed by a large U cycle, as if this is like U, and it is below the line. Okay, other states, other forms, if it's written, if it is written in the beginning of a word, then it looks like this. Okay, so that in that form it stays on the line. If it is in the middle, that is again stays on the line. If it is in the at the end, then you have to write it like this. Okay, let me connect these. Where can we connect it? Yes, connect that one here. Okay, let me write it as a connecting word. Okay, so that's the beginning part, middle part, end part. Okay, how to write it? Okay, it is written similar to the previous one, the scene, except that it has 3 dots on top of it. It is written like a cursive W beginning from the right on the line, followed by a large circular U written below it. 3 dots. Okay, let me explain this. Okay, so we start above the line like W, but from the right, and followed by a circular U. Okay, that is below the line, and we have 3 dots. Okay, 3 dots. And if we write the other forms, that would be in the beginning, it would look like this. In the beginning of a word, it would look like this. In the middle of a word, it would look like this, and at the end of the word it would look like this. Okay, and then you can connect them with each other. So that would be okay. So okay, so that's how we write it if it is in connected word. So how it is written, let me read out and then we will do it practically. So it is written by beginning the loop at the end, at the lower left, from slightly below the line. Okay, moving up. Okay, let me write it down and then explain that. I think that's better. It is written beginning the loop of the, okay, so it is from here Okay, moving up and to the right, moving up to the right, then circling down, and back to the round. So we have back to the round here, to the left, creating a pearl or a teardrop. So we have created a pearl or teardrop now, followed by a large circular U. So now we have to follow by large circular U. That's Sade. Okay. So if you see other forms that would look like this, similar teardrop shape. Okay, if it is in the beginning, in the middle, it would look like this. Okay, so, and at the end, it would look like this. Okay, so that's different shapes of writing. So we can connect these. Okay, we write it down. Okay, it's different types, different. If it's connected, then we have to write it like this. So how it is written? It is written. Let me read it through and write it down. But it is written by beginning the loop at the lower left, from slightly below the line, moving up and to the right, then circling down and back around to the left, creating a pearl or teardrop. So let me explain that here. So we start here, up, round, back to the left, and then at the end we include a large circular U. Okay, and then one dot on above it, one dot above it. Okay, that's how it is written. And if you want to write other forms, you see the first part is on the top of the line and the other one is under the line. So other forms would be, if it comes in the beginning of a word, looks like this. If it is in the middle, here, and if it comes at the end, okay. So can we connect it? Can we connect them? Yes, we can. It's connect because they are connectors. One of the connectors, so we can. Okay. So that's how we write it. How it is written? It is written. Let me see. Okay, it is written by beginning the loop at the lower left. Okay. Moving upward to the right, then circling down and back around to the left, creating a pearl or a teardrop. Let me explain that to you. So we start from here, up to the right, and then back to the left here, and then next is a vertical stroke added at the end. Okay, then what we do is a vertical stroke added here. So that's how it is made. Yeah. If you see other forms similar to that, okay, connect other letters with it after it, and the other one is like this. Okay, and the final one is I think there is another way of writing as well. Sometimes if people can write like this as well. So I think you can have other ways of writing as well. Okay. So we can we connect it? Yes, we can. Let's connect this. Okay, we can connect it. And if you want to write connecting, okay, sorry. That's the book way of writing, but I would prefer personally is like, I think this is more easier. Okay, it's the second way of writing, which is not mentioned in one of the books I've used. Okay, how it is written. So it is written by beginning the loop at the lower left. So as we start from the lower left, moving up and to the right, moving up to the right. Okay, start here, moving up to the right, then circling down. So we're circling down, back to the left, and then we a vertical stroke. So this is a teardrop now, so we put vertical stroke there. As explained before, that you can write it other way as well. You can start from here and then connect it like this. So that's another way, but that's not mentioned in the book. If it's in the beginning like this, okay, in the middle like this, and at the end like this. Okay, and if you can connect these, you can connect them. Okay, so another way of writing would be like this. Okay, another one, and at the end would look like this. Okay, so whichever is easy for you, you can adopt one or the other. And we forgot there's one dot on top of it as well. Okay, because to make it different from Dha, because Dha doesn't have a dot and Dha has one dot on top of it. So how to write it? Let me explain that. So it has two parts, the top and the bottom, the head and the tail. The head is written above the line, okay, and the tail is written below. Okay, the head is written above the line and the tail is written below. If you've noticed, the head is written like C, small c, and if you see the tail is written like a big C. So it's kind of connecting two C's, top and bottom, and different size. Okay, that's C. But if you see in the other forms, then you'll see differently. In the beginning it looks like this, okay, but it remains on the top, on the line. In this case, the top remain on the line and the bottom below the line. But if it comes in the beginning, then it remains on the line, rests on the line. If it is in the middle, then it looks like this. Okay, so you have to know the difference between this and there's another one, another letter coming, meme, so it will be similar. So you should know the difference between this and that when it comes in the middle. Okay, and at the end it should look like this. So in the beginning it stays on the line, in the middle it stays on the line, and at the end the top part stays on the line and the bottom under the line, and you can connect them. Okay, so again you should remember this, all this in future, because you will see another letter similar to it, so you should be able to differentiate between them when you see them in the real examples. Okay, how to connect it, write it, connect it like this. Okay, like this. Okay, three-way connecting all of them, the beginning part, middle part, and the end part. How to write it? Okay, so it is written exactly same as Ain, but the difference is it has one dot extra on top of it. So it has the head is written above the line and the tail is written below the line, the imaginary line. Okay, you can see it's like small c here and then big C here. The head is written like an English C, and then from the end of the small c, the larger C is connected, which is below the line, and then we have to have one dot above it. How to write it if it comes in the beginning? Looks like this, and it stays on the line, rests on the line. Okay, this one, it stays again on the line, and if it comes at the end, the top part remains on the line, rest on the line, and the bottom under the line. We can connect them because they are connectors. Okay, so fine. Okay, how to write it? Okay, let me explain that. It is written like a backward E, okay, whose tail extends along the line, with upward curve at its end. So how to do it? Let me write it down. So it's like this, and it remains on the line, and at the end extends, and the end we have one dot at the end. Okay, so if we write it in other forms, that would look like this. Okay, if it comes in the middle, so you have to see you have to differentiate between this one and ghain. Okay, that's, you have to remember. I'll explain that now in a second. Sorry, that's ghain. This one. If it comes in the end, okay, you can connect them. You can basically connect this one and here this one. Okay, so it would look like this: fa, another fa, and another fa. Okay, so the difference in fa and ghain is this one. If you see, this one is round and ghain is like this. Okay, ghain. Can you see the difference? So this one is round and this one is not round, it's different shape. So you have to remember those differences when we see in the practical examples. Okay, how to write it? Okay, it is written like backward E, whose tail extends and below the line. So it's similar to F, but with F stayed on the line, but Qaf, the second part, under the line. The tail is under the line, so we can write it like this. Sorry, don't touch this. Okay, 2 dots. And with fa we had 1 dot. With qaf we have 2 dots above it. And other forms can be written like this. Okay, it's the beginning of a word, middle of a word, end of a word. Okay, so you can connect them because these are connectors. Okay, write it down here. Okay, how to write it? See, it is written with 2 strokes. Okay, okay, let's explain that. First stroke is a vertical downward stroke, followed by a horizontal extension to the left with a slightly upward curve at the end. Okay, and it stays on the rest on the line and not below the line. Okay, so the first part is like this. Okay, that's the first part. The second stroke is like stretched S. It's like this. Okay, it's like this. You will see you can have different forms of writing. So that's one form of writing, and you can see if they are in different state, you can write differently as well. Okay, let me write it down. You can start like this, and then you can put another bar connected like this. Okay, so that's qaf, or you can start it like this as well. So both ways is acceptable. You start it like this and then connect, or you start with the bar and then connect it downwards. So that's okay. Next one is like this. Okay, or then last one is as if it's in the end. Okay, so maybe sometimes you will see like this as well at the end, some cases. Okay, because it is connector, so you can connect them. Okay, it's probably better green one. Okay, different forms. Okay, how to write it? Okay, let me explain that. So it is written in a single stroke, in a single downward vertical stroke, single downward vertical stroke extending below the line in a rounded L shape. Okay, okay, so it is written like this. Okay, okay, and if you see here in other forms, if it is at the beginning, then it stays on the line. Okay, the top part. Okay, if it is in the middle like this, and if it is at the end, so the top part remains on above the line and the bottom below the line. Can we connect it? Yes. Go in here, connect this one. So that would be like this. Sorry, 3 lamps. Okay, so that's the different forms of writing. Okay, so how it is written single stroke. Okay, and stroke begins at the left above the line, so the top part above the line, and makes the rounded triangle. Okay, as you see, that's the right triangle, rounded triangle, and goes below. So the next part is below the line. Let's try that one. This. Okay, so if you connect this part or not, then both of them. Okay, so connect it and connect it meme and other forms. So in this one we started from here and went up there, but in this one we have to see we start from below and then go up. So that's if it's in connecting, if it's in the beginning of a word, in the middle, okay, and at the end. Okay, or you can write it like this as well. Okay, so we can connect them. Okay, start like this. Okay, so that's the writing of meme. How to write it? Okay, it is written below the line. Okay, all of it below the line as a circular U with a dot between the upper arms. Okay, so let me explain it to you. So start from here, and the dot is here. Okay, that's how you write it when it is on its own. In the beginning, it would look like this. It stays above the line, and if it's in the middle, it's like this, and if it is at the end, it's like this. So we can connect them. Okay, so let's try again. Noon, 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 it's noon, it's noon, it's noon. Okay, this is how we write it. How to write it? Let's explain that. So it is written like backward E, the E in English, and upper part remains on the line, and the lower part remains below the line. You can see that start from here. Okay, as well, it's like opposite backward E. And if you see, the other forms are, if it's written in the beginning of a word, this, in the middle, like this, and at the end, like this. Okay, so that's how we write it. How to write it? So it is written somewhat around a teardrop. Okay, around a teardrop, and it rests on the line. Let me draw it. So if it is unconnected separate form, it is written like this. Okay, that's when it's separate. If it is in the beginning, it looks like this. You have to draw it like this. That's how you draw it in the beginning. And in the middle, it looks like this. Okay, the middle. And at the end, looks like this. Sometimes you see differently as well. Sometimes in the middle, it is written like this. Okay, you will see in the Quran. Sometimes it is written like this as well. Okay, so we can connect it. This one here, this one here. Okay, and draw it here again. Okay, different forms. Okay, so you can write it like, we draw it like here, so it's like this, or we can write it like this. 2 ways of writing. Okay, in the middle. 3 ways of writing in the middle. Okay, how to write it? So it is written, sometimes it is written above or underneath. You can see here, sometimes it is written above or underneath the letters. Okay, and these ones are called, as we explained before, these are called chairs. So those chairs, they don't contribute their own sounds if to the letter, but it is used as a chair, and it is written like this. Let's see. When on its own, it is written like this. Okay, in the beginning, you just write alif, and you write on top of it or under it. Okay, if it's under it, then it goes below the line. It's under it. And on the other forms, okay, the other one, yeah. So we are putting hamza on the chairs or the seats. Similarly, this one. Below it. And sometimes you can write like that one. So the middle and the end, they are the same. Okay, you will see all these in real text. That's why I put all the examples there, so you're aware of them. So how to write it? It is written, it has 2 parts. The top part, the top part is written above the line, and the bottom one below the line. So the top part above the line, and the bottom one below the line. Okay, other forms can be written like this. In the beginning, it looks like this. In the middle, looks like this, and at the end, it looks like this. Can we connect them? Yes, we can, because it's a connector. But again, just to repeat that, you won't see this in the real text. Either it will have something underneath or something above. Okay, or sometimes you have this one, as if it's alif maqsura, then you have to have small alif saghira on top of it. Okay, that's how we write it. So how to write it? Okay, it has, let me explain that. Okay, so its top part rests on the line. It's similar to the one we just used here as well, alif maqsura. Alif maqsura. Its top part rests on the line, and the bottom one below the line, and it has 2 dots underneath. Let me start writing here. Yeah, 2 dots. And other forms would look like this. If it's in the beginning, 2 dots. If it's in the middle, 2 dots, and at the end, 2 dots. Can we connect them? Yes, we can. Connect here, connect there. We can write here again. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. That's how we write. Yeah.